May 2025's astrology is one of the best astrology months of the year. It is a soft month. It's not full of hardship. It's not full of Pluto Mars oppositions and tensions. It's not full of chaos. And it's a good time to be here. And there's even some kind of pockets of sweetness in the sky where nothing much is happening. And you can take a reprieve, a rest, and a deeper inward movement toward what you really want in life. The highlight for each sign that I'm going to cover today for the month of May is this prolonged, almost whole second half of the month of May, in which Venus begins to form and continues to form a beautiful trine to Mars, a fire trine for initiative, for love, for getting up and getting something going in your life, for taking actions and making decisions aligned with your values and what you desire. Desire and action, decision and values, everything is coming together in these two signs. And I'll describe that for your sign. And when you listen today, listen for your rising, listen for your sun, and listen for your moon. Rising sign. That's your character you're playing in the simulation. Your sun is the game player. It's the true self, but it can also reflect your career matters. Moon is how you feel about this damn game. And after our Canadian lecture, we're all feeling pretty jumbled up. And you can say your moon is also connected to matters of home. So try listening for all three in today's video. So we will cover like the idea of the whole sky. I'm going to show you a picture. I'm not going to do a lot of political content here. I'm burnt out after the election in Canada and some of the trolls I had and the meanness, spiritedness of what happened under that. And I'm stopping all election videos in the future. I will cover world events in general, but no longer will I cover elections because people are too polarized. Okay, so I'm going to give you a picture of the sky to screenshot. I want you to know before you look at this picture of, I mean, not the sky, but of the major transits of the month, and you can keep that handy, that you have a video by me. It's 30 minutes long. And in that, I go week by week for your sign. Those videos came out a week or two ago on the 20th of the month or 19th. Please go check that out. I'll pin it to the comments in the playlist. Certainly, that's a little bit more chronological. It covers everything that happens for you based on whatever you're listening for, sun, moon, and rising. And by the way, I forgot to say hello. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. I use a lot of fixed stars and especially minor asteroids in my weekly, monthly delineations, in my big events, in my lunation videos. I put more than 20 videos out each month, and it's always all signs. If that kind of content interests you, think of liking and subscribing. And if you want to learn astrology to time your best life and be your own astrologer, hey, I'm teaching this course again, sixth time now. This year, it's mid-June to the end of July. Those 6 weeks are early bird discount. Notification link is below. So you get an early bird discount. You can enroll before the masses, so to speak. And if you want to also check the course description, it's also linked below in the description box. And maybe I'll pin that to the comments. Finally, I also have my 2025 All Signs bundle. That's 2-hour videos times 12, plus each has a PDF guidebook, half price. If you want to grab that half price sale and share with friends and family, listen for your sun, moon, and rising. It's a super deal. It's only $33. It's on sale to the end of May. Check it in my description box. Okay, let's get rolling. Let's talk about the sky. Let me show you what I want to show you. I want you to screenshot this if you are interested in having a handy picture to work with on your phone or something like that. Venus is with Neptune the first 3 days of May. Soulmate love, dreamy love, huge creativity, being able to pierce the veil in some area of your life connected to money and love and values. And it's not usually a feel-good transit, but it can be also about avoid the delusion and illusion you might have on rose-colored glasses about outcomes in love or finances. On the world, maybe Venus, the goddess of peace, can bring peace to a place of war connected to water bodies. That's Neptune. And so we may see some war stories coming to some closure. That would be a bit the most hopeful for world events. Mercury is sextiling Jupiter, May 4th to the 6th. And May 4th to the 6th, therefore, good news is on the horizon. That's what that codes as in the simplest possible way. Positive opportunities, emails, phone calls, and text messages. Good news, opportunities coming up to meet you halfway. It's really good for commercial business and money making sometimes as well. It may pose a good spell for the stock markets. I don't think it'll last, but we might see an uptick there as well. And it's going to be, of course, Mercury at the near third decan closing in on the end of Aries, talking in a positive way to Jupiter as he closes in at the tail end of Gemini. Now, the oasis is important. The oasis is the calm sky, May 8th to the 16th, the quiet sky. It is a blessing sky because you're not being tossed on the sea. None of us are, of world events or your own personal life chaos. Now, I'm not saying nothing will happen in the world that grabs our attention. May 8th to the 16th. That would be silly. But for the most part, I'm trying to share with you that it's a good time for you to go inward, the quiet sky, the oasis, good for reflection. What do you want in life? It's good for taking a vacation, for creating an oasis of downtime in your own reality to go inward. There is a punctuation mark in the 8th to the 16th is a May 12th moon. There is a full moon at 22 degrees of Scorpio. And we'll be doing a whole video on that. But while that full moon is blessing you in some completion or fulfillment in the Scorpio sky from things that you began 6 months earlier, Mercury at the very same time will square Pluto from Taurus to Aquarius. We got a lot of stories going on there because that, of course, is very angular energy. But it's not, Mercury is like a day-long influence, really, 1 or 2 at most. So looking around May 12th for some also news, information, tension that requires decisions and actions regarding things to do with your Aquarius and Taurus sky. For example, I'm an Aquarius rising, so it's me looking at matters to do with my home, and I have to move because my landlord's going to put this house on the market to sell it, and that will probably be some information or news around May 12th that a buyer's made an offer. That's something as simple, or there's going to be something going on with my home in relationship to a Taurus Mercury information, news, marketing, selling, story. Sun will co-join your, and for the world. Well, Taurus, Aquarius people are China. China's ascendant is in Aquarius. So there could be some China stories breaking in the news around the 12th of May. And Taurus stories, Nation of Israel has its sun in Taurus. So maybe some Israel stories breaking in the news during this time, for example. The sun is conjuncting Uranus, coming together, union with Uranus in Taurus. Now, Uranus is still on the fixed star Algol, and that's going over Donald Trump's midheaven, by the way. It's going over the ascendant of Mark Carney, who was just elected to the prime ministership of Canada. And so there are things around Donald Trump's career and reputation, perhaps, and also Mark Carney and his identity in his new role as prime minister that will be in the spotlight in some way around May 16th to the 18th. Those are possibilities. Or anything connected to Israel, sun, it's the sun of the nation, is a lot to do with the rulers of the nation or the identity in terms of power structures and kings or rulers, and that would be Netanyahu. So many stories about that could be breaking as well. May 16th to the 18th. The sun is going to bring something to light, okay, around those characters I just mentioned. Mercury is in Taurus and he's squaring Mars in Leo. This is going to happen May 16th to the 18th as well. Mercury always likes to bring news, right? Hello, everyone, I got a bit of news. You know, you see him squaring Pluto on May 12th. And then by the time we get to May 16th, now he's having a tough conversation with Mars, who's moving through Leo. These are fixed signs, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, and they're stubborn, immovable. They don't want to change. They like things the way they are. Okay, they're the steadfast energies of fixing something into place. And so Mercury is being pretty pokey around these fixed signs, right? As he moves through a fixed sign Taurus, and as he activates, of course, Pluto, and then later Mars. The stock exchange of the New York Stock Exchange has its sun on Algol in the sign of Taurus. So I will also say May 16th, May 12th, May 16th, the 18th, New York Stock Exchange or the stock markets are in the storyline. Mars is not an easy energy, and there's a square to Mercury. Mercury rules the markets. And so we may also be seeing market turbulence. Now, I did say there could be an oasis around the markets in May 4th to 5th, but then we may see tumbling in the markets May 12th to the 18th. Maybe an economic news comes out, and that would be looking more like economic news is breaking somewhere maybe around May 12th, and the stock markets may be turbulent the 16th to the 18th. I'm just guessing, but that is possible here for sure. Now, Donald Trump, as most of you know, is a Leo rising. Mercury in Taurus is not having an easy conversation with the Leo rising of both J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, or the nation of Iran, which is also a Leo rising. So Vance, Trump, and Leo rising, information, news, difficult, May 16th to the 18th. Mars in Leo can be difficult for the health of Donald Trump, and Mercury is also about what news is breaking, what's the information from the top of the sky, where his midheaven and reputation is. So I will say that possibly May 16th to the 18th, you're going to see some difficulties here with the Trump story. Sun will sextile Saturn May 20th to the 22nd. Well, this is a positive energy, and this is about making something enduring or lasting. And the Sun is wanting to work with Saturn in Pisces to attempt from the Taurus part of the sky to seal a deal that's somehow useful or positive. So let's just say, how can you solidify something, maybe about a career matter, maybe about something going on in the Taurus part of your sky, and Saturn in Pisces has a solution that's enduring or a solution that's lasting. For example, if I use me, I'm an Aquarius rising. Pisces is where Saturn is in my second house of income and earnings and savings, and the Sun is moving through the house of home, property, and real estate. Maybe Lori could find a very affordable new home May 20 to 22nd. That's an example. Well, in your longer videos for your sign, I would have explained it for your sign in more detail. Venus is in Aries, trining Mars and Leo. This is the thing I like the most, which I'm going to talk about for your sign. May 19th to 26th, this is like action and money and values and desires with bold, aggressive, daring, positive fire action, initiative, daring, bold declarations of I want this and I'm going to do this to get it. I want that love story. I want that money. I want that relationship. So we'll delineate that for your sign. For the world, well, Venus is in a sign of war. She tries her best to bring peace. Mars is in Leo, the sign of kings. Possibly because King Trump is a Leo. There are some good news coming through the sky, or some positive developments in the life of J.D. Vance, or in the life of, these are Leo risings, of King Trump, or regarding matters to do with Iran and war, maybe a de-escalation narrative regarding all the saber rattling there, May 19th to the 26th. And Mercury will also be with Uranus on May 24th. Don't forget algol, decapitation, off with their head, ghouls, bodies rotting, corpses, difficult stories is always Uranus narratives when he's on, like sudden shocking, when he's on the fixed star that doesn't move, algol. And so with Uranus on algol, May 24th and 25th, and then Mercury conjuncting that, okay, in Taurus, a fixed sign, connected to the sun of, for example, the nation of Israel, or connected to anything that's a Taurus placement, including the stock markets in the United States, which are run in Taurus energies. The bull in Taurus is a declarative emblem of the markets, okay, of Wall Street. So Mercury conjunct Uranus, information, news, shock, awe, delivering the world to the world, May 24th and 25th. Sun was also doing the same thing, May 16th to the 18th. So May 16th to the 18th may connect to news stories and shocking, surprising events that we're hearing about, learning about, being informed about, May 24th and 25th. Again, either Israel and or the markets, maybe ways to code that sky. Donald Trump has his midheaven in Taurus. So does J.D. Vance. Again, they might be impacted. And the new Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, has his ascendant where this is all happening, his identity, and there may be some shocking, surprising news stories about him, May 24th to 25th. I'm just reading the sky. This is not my political bias. Sun is sextiling Pluto, May 24th and 25th. This is a power story. Power and domination, Pluto and Aquarius, we the people are over the people. Either the people want the power or they're going to be dominated over. Sun, king, leader, energy, sextile, positive. I can't complain, right? When the Sun and Pluto are in a friendly conversation. Wait, Sun sextile Pluto. How's that possible? I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. Because Sun's moved on. I forgot we're past May 21st. So now the Sun has moved to Gemini. Gemini. Oh my God. This is what happens when I'm working this hard. Let me go grab the sky and take a look at what the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking about a trine, not a sextile. I apologize. So I'm not going to fix this diagram. Sun, trine, Pluto. Of course, Sun is in Gemini flowing to Pluto. Luck, opportunity, goodness, grace. Well, Sun is sextiling Pluto. We also have a commensurate new moon in Gemini. So Sun is trining Pluto, the nature of Jupiter, opportunities, luck, expansion, growth, hope, and optimism. Very nice energy between Sun in Gemini and Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And when we do your all signs, when you check your all signs video out for your sign, I cover that for you. The new moon in Gemini is one of the 6 best new moons of the year. 6 degrees of Gemini with Mercury in the sky with the new moon and Jupiter still in Gemini while all of this is trining the Sun. Pluto in Aquarius. So this is the best new moon of 2025. And so we'll be doing a big video on that. And finally, the Sun and Mercury will be in cazimi or conjunction. Superior conjunction. Mercury is in the behind the Sun from our vantage point on Earth, not between the Sun. He is direct. This is May 29th, 30th. It's a cosmic reset button, but it also sometimes delivers news or information into the world on the day of the cazimi. Because this is a conjunction happening in the sign of Gemini and it's Mercury's home kingdom, it's likely a cazimi that delivers some good information or news to the world regarding Gemini themes, peoples, places, and nations. I will leave that video for another time. I will cover that in more depth later. Sometimes when I'm doing my overview video for May, and we're getting to your sign next, I cover the idea of what did I get right last month. I do get some things right. For example, in my Taurus video, I said that perhaps a pope would be dying or there'd be a funeral for a figure well known, and it may be the Pope. And that video was based on the asteroid Requiem connected to the Taurus lunation in April. And I said a funeral for the Pope or some famous person by the end of April. And that's exactly what happened. I caught that one. I did get it right, So if I do get some things wrong now and then, I'd say I get 75% right, maybe 80, and then the rest is up to chance. Be nice, guys, be nice. All right. I did talk about the unaliving attempt on Trump. And I said around the 12th. The 15th of July. And it was 2 days before that, and I called that Biden would step down well before. I called it in March of the election year. He wouldn't run for office. He would step away. And, and I even said Walsh would be the VP pick. And I get a lot of stuff right. But every now and then I just miss the mark. So you don't have to troll me and you don't have to hate on me and you don't have to clobber me with negative comments. Thanks. What did I get right last month? I'm just going to tell you some of the stuff that I predicted in my overview video for the month of April. And what did I get right? I've got a couple of items I'd like to reflect back to you. So I almost don't have the heart to go back and do it, honestly. I think I called my video crisis change or something like that. And dramatic crisis brings dramatic change or something like that. But, I do know what I got wrong. I think I covered it like a light touch on the election. I thought the conservatives might pull off a minority government win. I also got wrong. Probably it's still in play, but not really. It's Tuesday the 29th. I was concerned about nuclear saber rattling with the Pluto-Mars opposition because it's correlated in the past to tensions between Russia and the United States connected to the threat of nuclear actions or devices. And nothing's happened yet as of the 29th. So maybe that nothing will happen on that, but that's the Mars-Pluto opposition. I also referenced the Mars-Pluto opposition quite a lot as the dominant story of 2020, April of 2025, because that story connects back to things that happened just before the US election, things that were happening January 3rd, and things that are happening now, particularly the last week of April. And as this opposition got tenser and tenser, I predicted a lot of explosive energy between factions that are struggling together or opposing each other for power. One thing I did predict very accurately is I predicted that I would end up having a ton of trolls on my channel, just like I did in November, and that came true. But go back and watch that video if you want. I just don't feel like trolling through everything I said. I mentioned an earthquake because of the Taurus moon. And there was a massive earthquake in Sri Lanka, 7.7, I believe, on the Richter scale. I'm not sure if that's the only earthquake we're going to get, but the Taurus moon activation with a square to Mars Pluto can indicate in the 6 months that follow last month's Taurus lunation that we could still have shaking earth or shaking stock markets. So that prediction was in that last video. There was an earthquake in Sri Lanka. So let's get going and talk about your sign, because I don't have the heart to go back to my old video and listen to it for you guys and pick out all of my wins. But I gave you my failures there as well. So I'm not a narcissist. Thanks, Amber. That's an inside joke. Let's get rolling through your sign. We're going to start with Aries. And we're going to talk about the thing I like the most, like kind of like that. I said the 19th, the 24th, but honestly, it kind of, you feel it all month long. I'm going to simplify the sky for your sign a lot here because I really want to focus for each sign on how it feels to get this glorious flow between Venus and Mars. I will do a deeper dive video into it, yes, as we get closer to the time. But for now, it would be useful to give you a nice vibe, of something you can really look forward to as we approach the second half of the month. And I think we all could use a little bit of happy sky. Things have been really hard. Everyone's feeling the tension. I'm not kidding. There's that Mars Pluto opposition that I'm talking about. April 29th, but it's starting to wane. Now let's go back to Aries. And let's move ahead, by the way, into the right month. Now, I'm not going to try to rotate the sky through anything. I did that in my all signs videos for you guys. And so you can go watch that, right? But I'm going to just jump us to the 19th when you can see the trine beginning to form between Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, what you desire and value and wish to attract to yourself, and Mars, the god who's got the action plan to make it happen, or the decision-making power, or the separating power to make it happen. So when we see these two working together, the god of desire with the god of decisions and actions, we can imagine that can only be positive. And you'll see that Venus here on the 19th is building towards that. And actually, to be clear, if you want to get really technical, she's actually beginning the story on the 16th. So let's go May 16th to around, let's watch the sky together. There she is on the 16th, starting to flow to Mars. I don't like how busy the sky is. I'm going to take out more people. I really wanted to make it super simple. We don't need the nodes of fate today in this. So let's remove them. It just makes the sky busier than it needs to be. That's my opinion. Nor do we need the moon. Let's make it as simple as possible. So there is a flow between Venus and Mars, and it begins on the 16th. And as we move forward, you'll see that they keep tag teaming each other as they come into perfection again on the 21st. Look at that, 15 degrees, and perfection keeps happening. And then they're going to find themselves in what we call separating, no longer active connection by the time we get to the 28th. So I can pretty well say that May 19th to the 28th, May 16th to the 28th, we have this beautiful energy playing out. And there's a couple exact points, like May 22nd, okay? And May the 21st. So that's where it's most exact, but it's building from the 16th and is waning by the 28th. So we'll go ahead and do each sign. We're going to start with Aries. It's just simpler that way. When I'm in my live premiere, you guys know that, hey, that's the story. We're on Aries. Always look to the eastern horizon to know where you are. Aries, 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 sun, moon, and rising. Holy man, I think I need a drink of water. If you are an Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign, here's what you need to know. You're going to start feeling on the 14th of the month through until the 28th with an epicenter on the 22nd, 21st, that You are ready for the following decisions and actions to take place so that you can be in harmony and flow with what you desire, because you are desiring, wanting, and all of that from the first house, from the Aries first house, or where your sun and moon is sitting. Your sun is about your career, your moon about your, home matters, but your Aries ascendant is your character in this game and simulation, your body. And so you are coming into a place of owning a desire, owning something you wish to attract to you. And you might be feeling very, very beautiful at the same time. In inward and outward beauty might be coming through for you. And so there's a chironic wound here, but she's not touching the wound directly. But you know that you kind of have an existential wound around career or home, sun and moon, or maybe about your identity. Mars is game on. What can he do for you in terms of taking some actions and decisions to bring you what you desire? Well, he can get you to go on a leisure trip somewhere and have fun. He can get you to be bold and competitive in going for it in some kind of online, not necessarily online, I should just qualify, in some kind of entrepreneurial, creative, or artistic endeavor. And he could even get you really excited and passionate about sexual and romantic love. And you might just get involved in a feisty tryst of some sort with some love and romance flinging and flying through your sky. With Mars in your fifth house, you're going to get along better with your children or get support from your children directly helping you achieve what you want to bring into your life, what you really truly desire. A romantic lover is also an ally and maybe bringing support to you and bringing you into a place of feeling that someone else is taking the actions and helping you make decisions regarding your fun, joy, play, and pleasure. You see, Venus loves joy, fun, play, pleasure. Mars is in the house of fun, joy, play, and pleasure. This is a pretty nice sky. This is the 16th of May to the 28th. I mean, I don't know where to go. You might be really enjoying this time of your life. Venus is the ruler of the long-term committed love house, and she can bring some ease and grace to longer term committed love, some flow, some genuine friendly and happy times. It's a long way to Mars leaving your fifth house. It's not till June the 17th, but Venus is only going to support him through to the end of this month. So it's kind of like this is the time where you know how to tackle your creative projects, how to tackle your in entrepreneurial business endeavors, and how to tackle your romantic and children relationships through the lens of harmony, cooperation, peace, joy, and fun. I don't see anything about this that I don't actually really like for you. I just don't. And as Venus and Mars continue to bring forward the sky, eventually they get closer and closer to making a connection to Jupiter. And I think maybe if I can get this not to jump too far ahead, I'll show you what I mean. Well, I'll go back to you guys, but I want to show you how Jupiter sort of side eyes in here a little bit near the end. As we get to the 28th, 29th, 19 Mars, 21 Venus, and a little bit of love to both of them from the guru and the dispeller of darkness. So in a lot of ways, there's a kind of a general vibe that Jupiter is not without positive complicity, trying to help something happen as well. So it's really good for travel. It's really good for taking a course. It's really good for teaching a course and having great success and enjoyment doing so, because that's where Jupiter sits. It's really good for your social media world if you do social media, because that's where Jupiter and the sun sit as this becomes perfected. So Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. First off, you're ruled by Venus, and she's in the house of self-undoing and addictions, and she's helping you heal a chironic wound about being your own worst enemy and letting yourself down. And as that's ongoing, you're also going deeper into what you desire in your alone time, in your solitude, in your bed pleasures, in your cozy pajamas at night, in all the creative things you could do behind the scenes. For some of you, if you make digital borderless income and revenue from far off marketplaces, then that happens to be something that she's also considering a focus for. But she's also trining that Mars in that sustained trine from the 16th to the 28th, epicenter 21, 22 of May. The energy is to make changes and take actions regarding your home or your childhood matters. And so, for example, for those of you working through some addictions or self-undoing patterns, this is really slicing through with ease and flow the ways you've gone astray from your own highest good based on things that may have occurred in your childhood or connected to growing up or your mother or the ancestral line. On a more practical note, Mars loves to, in this fourth house, maybe get a hammer, build something that you really desire, that's really beautiful, that you've been dreaming about in your quiet time. You might build something in the home. You might hammer something into place. You might do some renovations or constructions. Mars down here also likes to move or travel from. Some Tauruses may be traveling far from home. They may decide in this time, yes, to take a journey to a foreign or distant shore away from the home. And that journey time looks good on you. And that journey time can happen anytime between the 14th of May and the 28th. So that looks really lovely. And if you've had any domestic disharmony with Leo here, Venus is going to try to soothe it out. Conflict or disharmony in the home and your private life in your domicile can become soothed out in the second half of May. With this energy also connecting to Jupiter's kind of giving blessings both generally towards Venus and Mars, especially closer to this last week of May. Jupiter might say bounty and money, right? How do you want to look at this? Well, maybe you're going to sell a property, like eliminate and cut it, and you're going to take in a chunk of money. This is good for that. It's also good for mortgages, refinancing, and loans connected to land, property, and real estate. And there may be positive things in the second house of the month for you. Second half of the month, and particularly the last week of May, are along those lines. And many may be accrued from borderless income and revenue and distant shores as well. If by any means you are thinking of moving your home, then things go well and it flows, and the opportunity for a change of home can feel like a blessing rather than a difficulty. All right, that's what I've got for you. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. First things first, Venus was moving through Aries direct. She's here for the whole month of April, and the whole month of May, and she's trining Mars. And this is going to be felt by you around the 16th of May through to the end of the month, with a more focused, acute energy around the 21st, 22nd. The energy says to me that you might be making some significant changes and decisions regarding third house matters, a change of neighborhood, an opportunity for travel, decisions and actions that are taken regarding your presence in the online digital universe, or relationship to a younger sibling, and some negotiating of change in that relationship. Feeling this energy from Venus's perspective, it's all about what you desire in the career gains themselves. Where are you going to actualize a desire and even a cherished dream with Neptune there, in how you have gains from your career? Now, that can even be celebrity in terms of public appeal, or the masses, liking you, healing a wound about that. Mars is in the social media realm, and maybe some of you may have a pickup of some positive momentum and exciting new directions coming through social media. Like, I have a progressed Gemini sun. Sun is in Gemini here with Jupiter giving me luck and opportunity. And I would love to be on like Next Level Soul podcast or something. And that could look like this. I actually got someone reaching out to me from a podcast I love, about near-death experiences, and I'm going to definitely say yes to that as well. So for someone like me in the social media sphere, it could be looking like being invited into some other person's social media story, being shared by an ally or benefactor. If you've had trouble with neighbors, fighting with your siblings, fighting with your aunts and cousins, uncles, cousins, fighting with your neighbors, Mars has been going through this part of your sky mid-April. He doesn't leave till mid-June. Then you begin to heal, soothe, and bring peace to those conflicts. And you may find that the conflictual parts of your story are going to be remediated, and the ease and flow and friendship come up. Friends also belong to your 11th house. This could look like travel with a friend, okay, or a friend with benefits, or just a friend. So you might be engaging in some second half of May travel with a friend or connected to a friend. Jupiter could bring in the idea of luck, expansion, growth, opportunity through travel, through teaching, through learning, and through social media actions and decisions. And you never know, but if anybody here is spiritual, this could also be a very spiritual time, as you'll see that this represents things to do with spiritual wisdom. And maybe you're going to be traveling for a spiritual retreat or something, especially with Pluto in the 9th house. Hey, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Guess what? You got a big story going on. The second half of May feels really nice, starting the 16th to the end of May, looking to around the 20th to 22nd for some real intensity that's positive. Venus says, what do you desire and want in general? But it's all about your career. It's also connected to being well liked in the career space, or liking the people you work with, or liking the career path you're on. And as she's up there with all of this, this is what I want. This is what I desire. This is what I prefer. This brings me joy. This brings me fun. She flows to Mars in the second house. Now, because these are things to do with work and office, if you're a single Cancer, there may be an office romance brewing. That's possible with this guy. And Jupiter says, keep it hidden. But on the other hand, if it's about money and earnings, it looks like you may be having a financial decision or action plan going to increase your revenue and increase your money in your work. Venus is in detriment here. She's not the happiest in the 10th house. And in this case, some of you may, in a positive way, take a leave taking from some path of work, quit, or end, or let go of some path of work, but you're going to feel good about it. And you're going to feel like this has been a very positive decision and a very positive new direction by letting go of something that no longer or never did feel really right for you. Finally, Mars is like a cutting, ending, severing, but he's also a spender and a self-starter in the second house. You might want to start your own business. He rules your entrepreneurial house. Some of you could do that. Or you might find yourself having to spend money on something, maybe connected to your home or your property, as Venus rules that. And it may be a big expenditure time, but it's still positive. And that expenditure feels essential, but also not difficult to attain or to put it together to buy that thing for your home or connected to your home in some way. Again, second half of May. Hey, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Well, we have Venus. What do you desire? In the 9th house of foreign lands and travel, legal and court matters, higher education, dharma and purpose, and spiritual belief and religious affiliation. 9th house matters are on the menu. She's looking at Mars, who wants to do the action plan, take those decisions, go in a certain direction. Now, it is the house of grandchildren. Some of this could involve your grandchildren. You never know. But you're kind of moving forward. You've got the decision-making power. You are Mars. You are ready to go for something. And the flow of Venus to Mars is indicating that you are no longer confused. You know what is needed, what you want, and what will bring you joy. Is it to book a trip somewhere or take that trip abroad? Is it to quit the legal matters or put more energy into winning at a legal situation? Is it to apply for a visa? Is it to apply for a university college? Is it to set up a book publishing deal by making an appointment with a publisher? These are all like Mars deciding 9th house Venus desires. So it could be so many things. Jupiter is supporting both Venus and Mars in a kind of whole sign sextile. And therefore, there's something good that wants to happen that could increase your career gains, or it could bring you a bit of success in your career gains itself coming through this alignment. You might also want to travel with a friend or a sibling one older, because opportunity and excitement and growth and positivity would happen in those situations. Travel at a short distance or a long distance, in this case, either one could work. And ultimately, let's face it, you got a sword in your hand. And so you're willing to cut away things in your belief structures of the 9th house that no longer work and adopt something much more enjoyable. If you always thought doing Hail Marys and penance wasn't your cup of tea, then some of you may move away from the more harsher spiritual traditions to find something more satisfying that brings you a little bit more joy. A little bit more joy, please. Finally, do you have a sibling 2 older than you, like 2 up above you? That sibling is the 9th house, and good things could happen regarding you and actions and decisions and a sibling 2 older than you. And with Mars ruling your fourth house of home, property, and real estate, some of you may begin to make moves and take actions to relocate where you live or make a change regarding your home. Ninth house could be to do with going to university or even finding a new home setting that you prefer involving foreign people or foreign lands. Hey, Virgo, this is a beautiful energy in the second half of May. The trine between Venus and Mars is a delectable thing. You can say you desire more chunky money. Unearned income is chunky money. Investments, stock rebates, taxes rebates, stock investments, money shared with a business or romantic / husband-wife partner. Then Venus says, what do you desire and how can I help? You've been a little wounded here, maybe a little anxious about your inheritance monies, your chunky money, the money you share with a significant other. And Mars is saying, well, we're going to work out this thing in the backroom deals and negotiations in the solitude of your life. We're going to figure it out together. I think that you can be making some financial shifts in long-term committed love relationships with Jupiter in the mix. It could involve land, property, and real estate, and a significant love and relationship partner in which finances are entwined. With Mars in the 12th house, if you have to get rid of an addiction, again, that's where the addictions lie. And he's kind of flowing to Neptune, another addiction planet with Venus. I think there's some deep soul work here that allows you to kind of jettison self-undoing and addictions in a very good way with lots of ease and not a lot of hardship. And Jupiter in the top of the sky still trying to bless you with career luck until June the 9th. And he does form a sort of mini sextile to Venus. So you may get a severance package or a sign-on bonus or some lovely luck in the career space connected to money, but also with Mars's help. It's because of things going on behind the scenes. We call that like the backroom deals and negotiations house that may benefit you. Like your human resource department's being hobnobbed by your manager who said, we got to move you to a higher salary or a better place to work in this company. And you're not even thinking about it. Like it's being worked out for you. So let me know what happens with that for some of you. If you're self-employed, of course, ignore that. That's if you're in an employment structure. Now, it's a Libra narrative, Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. I think that your story here is very positive. And what I like about this is that Mars is cutting through the house of good spirit, and that's a positive house. And he's good in Leo, he's fiery, and he's got a amount of power to make some decisions up there with you. So, number one, are you ready to quit or end or leave something in your life in a work setting, particularly the way the money comes to you, the way you earn the money? Because he's flowing to contractual agreements like your employment contract, your terms of service, you know what I mean? And there could be a very easy way to extricate yourself from some kind of gnarly earnings work legal contract stuff. That's one thing. Because of Jupiter's participation, if there's anything you're doing in like book publishing or pilgrimages or foreign travel or visas or opportunities professionally connected to foreign shores, because Jupiter's crossing from the foreign lands to your 10th shortly, then you might find yourself in some sweet spot in the second half of May, connected to career opportunities, connected to foreign and distant shores. I wonder too, if anybody here is in a relationship, you may get some really nice social engagement here where there's a lot of fun and action going on with groups of friends connected to a significant relationship. All of a sudden, like, May 16th, the end of the month, by being much more engaged in social events with your significant other, there is a glow up in the love story. That would look like that as well. You could benefit greatly from the actions or decisions or participation of a sibling one older than you, or a large group of friends, or even one friend, ally, or benefactor in particular, wanting to support you in something, wanting to give you a leg up. It could involve publishing. It could involve publications. It could involve travel, visas. It could involve your audience, marketplace, and public. For those of you who have a kind of career where you have a public that you must address, the 7th house is that, and you're getting a lot of spiritual sort of uplift from Jupiter. Maybe you're going to go international in your exposure to the public. Maybe you're going to get a job connected to a foreign-owned company. Those are stories I see for some of you mid-May to the end of the month. Okay, now What I like about the sky here for you, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign is this. You're having this energy of what you desire and the actions that are coming with it mid-May to the end of the month. Between the Venus narrative in your Artha sixth house and Mars in the 10th house, it's work, it's career. Mars likes to cut and sever. Otherwise, he becomes a workaholic up there. He's very passionate. So maybe mid-May to the end of the month, you're going to find your drive, ambition, and passion for the work you're doing, the intensity of effort to succeed flows into blessings in the work itself. That could look like a raise or a promotion. That could look like an up level of position here. That could look like a lot more enjoyment in your employment and employer storylines. Now, I like Mars up here if you want to leave a job, because the flow to Venus says something better will come. You're able to extricate. And Jupiter's in severance package, chunky money of the 8th house says, and if you needed to leave or you got let go, you're going to receive a likely big financial bonus for not being there. Now, we do want to mention that your Jupiter is in an inheritance place. The sun is with him. Mars is in the house of the father. There's a possibility of some kind of money coming to you, like almost like a debt that's owed from a father figure. Are they actually passing away? I don't know. It doesn't have to be that intense. Maybe just they're going to cut you a check, but from a father figure and legacy wealth, money may emerge for you mid-May, the 16th through the end of the month. For a very classic example, my Scorpio rising sun will probably be at his dad's birthday party, and his dad is prone to cutting checks on the kid's birthday. So it's just very practical. Ultimately, Venus is saying, what do you truly desire in the work you're doing in this world? She wants to be creative in her downtime. She wants to spend all of her hours writing books and doing pottery and making paintings and singing and dancing at home in the 12th house alone, like alone time creatively. She's got to go get her job or day job. So she's wounded with Chiron. There's something about healing a wound around work and the job situation in your life for some Scorpios. And that will be true for the second half of May. Epicenter, the 22nd, 21st. Hey, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. How do you go with this sky in a positive way? Well, it's hard not to be positive in a trine, a fire between Venus and Mars. Hey, Venus is like pleasure and leisure in her joy, fun, creativity, and entrepreneurship, sexual, romantic love, fertility, and pregnancy in your 5th house, flowing to Mars in the house of grandchildren. So for some of you, children are having grandchildren, or there's some powerful connection to enjoyment of grandchildren, or your own children are having a glow up as well, just in general. It could indicate a travel opportunity that involves pleasure, fun, and leisure connected to far shores and lands. And Mars is the one on the go. He's getting on the plane or whatever. He also is saying make decisions and take actions about what you actually want with creative or entrepreneurial projects, and the words publications. If you're by any chance involved in academic settings or teaching, or you love to travel internationally, then Venus and Mars are conspiring to give you a mid-May to the end of the month glow up in those themes. Single and looking for love, healing that chironic wound, international travel, or higher educational settings could intersect you with a passionate and exciting new love story. Now, with Jupiter sort of mixing in, he says, oh, we're not going to give you a fling. If you find somebody and you're single, we're going to try to make it a lasting and positive relationship. And if you are looking for any kind of contracts for a book publishing deal or entrepreneurial activity connected to expanding your audience or your marketplace, those contractual informations and deals could come at you in a very blessed way, particularly closer to the 21st, 22nd, 23rd of the month, but certainly anywhere between the 16th and the end of May. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. First of all, Venus is going to want you to acknowledge your desires regarding your home life. What are you doing in your home life? Chironic wound. You want pleasure. You want love in the home. You want beauty in the home. You want to enjoy your home. You want to feel like you belong to a home. She's with first in a lifetime Neptune here. We'll be covering that in a video later about Venus in Aries. But to me, it feels like you could find yourself really wanting a dream home. And as you're feeling into what you desire regarding the words home and dream, I mean, come on, Neptune, water, Aries, hot, or maybe rocky or something, a little bit like the ram, or goat ram energy. But, and the flow is to Mars in the chunky money house. Mars is like actions and decisions around banking, investments, mortgages, banking, investment, buying and selling of real estate, buying and selling of financial assets, liberating financial assets connected to a desire for a home. Jupiter is in the house of rentals and like landlords and tenants and leasing and leases. And therefore, if you're looking for a change in your home that's more beautiful, more enjoyable, less wounded, more dreams come true, and Saturn reaches that spot on May 25th, there's a whole separate video coming on that, then you're going to be able to make a dream come true around sticking the landing on a home, maybe a rental with a placement of Jupiter. But I would say if you're thinking of that, then looking for a rental property anywhere in mid-May to the end of the month is blessed by positive developments. And if you have anybody visiting you in your home, a female, or you're visiting a female's home, right? Female in the fourth house, then there's a lot of beautiful flow around the possibility of that person visiting you or vice versa. It could really activate a huge amount of karmic debt release in a positive way with Jupiter in the sixth house of karmic debt. If you want a pet, this is a pet story as well. If it's time for a new pet, you need a pet, you want a pet, good things regarding the story around pets. And that's what I have for you. And let's move on. Hey, Aquarius, I am one of you. I am a rising. I'm talking to you on the Troll City day for me, of the day after the Canadian election. It's been tough having Mars opposite Pluto right now like this in my sky. So be nice. Thanks. I want you guys and me guys to think about Venus in the third house as travel, maybe social media land, writing, marketing and selling. And Venus is a benefic. She's helping heal a chironic wound here. There's a dreamy and fantastical beauty of Neptune. And she's sitting here flowing to Mars in the seventh house of long-term committed love relationship, audience, marketplace. Now, Mars is very feisty in this place. He's no longer opposing Pluto directly. You may find yourself ambitiously pursuing exposure to a larger audience or marketplace through the land of social media. That would be an example. You may find yourself breaking a contract connected to matters to do with legal contracts and writing, marketing, selling, neighbors and neighborhood stories. Those are ways but it's positive. It's happening in a flowing way. When you see Mars there, he can often cause separation from a relationship partner, but the trine to Venus can suggest reunification with a relationship partner. If there's been any geographical separation because of travel, there may be more reunions, or you may travel with a romantic partner somewhere together about May 16th to the end of the month. Are you single? You can meet your partner during travel, but it also could mean that you and an existing partner travel together. Jupiter is in the house of romantic love and leisure travel. And then again, we see romantic and leisure travel. Creative and entrepreneurial people, especially regarding writing and entrepreneurship, looks very good. Like a kind of glow up as Jupiter supports both Venus and Mars broadly. And there becomes a kind of nice luck spree in the fifth. Jupiter can help you win money. That's not the most obvious thing here, but anything is possible. So you could win some money coming off the mid-May to the end of May storyline. With the Sun and Jupiter together in your fifth house, there's a big spotlight on your children as well as your romantic life. There may be some lucky breaks for one of your children coming through at this time as well. And in this case, it may be in their professional endeavors, as Mars rules the 10th house. And this can apply to matters to do with children in your life as well. So adult children and lucky breaks professionally may show up as well. Jupiter can be a fertility transit here. So getting pregnant on a trip, on a getaway for younger folk out there. So keep that in mind. It certainly does support some travel, though, because both the fifth house can be leisure travel and Venus is in the house of short distance travel. Well, she also rules your ninth house of long distance. If I have any advice for you guys, traveling is a good idea mid-May to the end of the month, as well as teaching. And so I'll be teaching Sky Reader in June, but I will be promoting it in May. So that's probably a good example of how the promotional energies of the seventh, not third, could serve an Aquarius like me. And Jupiter says, luck. Finally, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, you're the best. I wonder if you're going to change your work up and make more money. And you're going to go through a work money flow coming up. Decisions and actions and change in the workplace or the service or the job connected to matters of income and earnings in the second. Venus and Mars are working on your behalf the 16th of May all the way to the end of the month. And there's a lot of intensity that's good for you in this regard around the 21st, 22nd. And Mars here can also be good for your health, and Venus as well, especially with Chiron next near to her. You may be having some major turning points in a positive way mid-May to the end of the month that improves your health, including new exercise routines and dietary styles. Neptune rules drugs, and drugs could be good for your health. I don't mean like recreationally, but medications that are necessary could improve your health as well. Jupiter wants to bring you luck in and from the home, prosperity in and from the home, bounty in and from the home. And with Venus ruling your eighth house of chunky money, a new rental property, renting out a room in your home, even buying or selling a home can bring some prosperity mid-May till the end of the month. Now, Jupiter is not in his full strength in Gemini, so I'm not suggesting you're going to have to say sell a house and then make more money than you thought, but you'll be able to extract money through property purchases and sales. Good things are happening mid-May to the end of May. Really good for rentals and really good for getting a pet. If you've been thinking about a pet, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus say purchase your dream pet, expenditure Venus, buy the pet you really wanted. You always wanted a Labradoodle, but the breeder says it's $1,000. Well, spend the money. This pet story for those of you pet seeking would be good for you. As I said again, you could rent a property out, rent a room in your house. You could be the tenant renting a gorgeous property or a lucky break in rentals. It all serves the greater good here, though. It's good for your money. It's good for your health. And this globe is entirely lovely, lasts an entirety of the whole second half of May, really. So let me know how it goes for love and money and health and exercise and food style and property and land and rental and prosperity you make from your home for your career. If you work at home in a career, like you can do your career at home, then Jupiter says we're going to glow you up financially from work you do in your home, second half of May. Thanks for listening. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I really enjoyed making that video for you today, a lot more than I've enjoyed the first half of the day, in which I had the trolls from hell hit me, and also just like some seriously mentally ill people targeting me on my channel. So I may be changing my format. So for all my regulars who are listening, I respond to comments, but I'm not, I think, going to either read my comments anymore, have an assistant do that, or what I might do is start a membership community where if you're in my membership community, I prioritize, you'll have a little icon and your comments get read and answered by me. And I think that's what I'm going to do so that I'm no longer accidentally stumbling across very hurtful, hostile, negative, sharp energy of very angry, very mean people. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. The next video is coming out on Thursday. There'll be a Sunday drop. And I'm not sure what I'm covering Sunday, but it might be the transit of Venus out of her shadow phase as she goes through Aries and what that means in her first in a lifetime. Playful spirit with Neptune there as well, and Saturn coming in May. It's probably well to cover on Sunday's video because it is a big deal. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.